Hypervigilance and guilt in dog culture. Two examples. Our first example is our biker guy. This guy rides his bike on gravel roads, and he says that he had to use his pepper spray on some dogs.
Do it, but these are like pit bulls, and I was not in a sprinting mode, and by the time they were on me, it was too late to sprint anyway, and so I got the pepper spray out, and I just turned around. The dog, was probably 10 feet from me. He's close enough to hit him with pepper spray, and it didn't like hurt him too bad. He was just like stop, and he didn't yelp or anything. So the dog just kind of stopped, and he kind of did like this with his paws, but the other dog stopped too. So I would imagine if I do that one or two more times, the dog's gonna probably get the hint and not chase me again. But it's better than the dog biting someone and animal control being called, and who knows, maybe the dog being put down. So I
Yeah, that would be a shame if the dog was put down and saved the life of a little kid.
tell you what, next time I go on that road, I'm going to put the GoPro on the back of my bike. Let's see if we can get some video. Like I said, I love dogs. I have a dog, uh, but there's just a time when if an owner is going to be a bonehead and let their dog chase people, then got to take matters into your own hands. So
So this man is guilty and he's hyper vigilant. He's talking about next time he's going to do this, going to get his GoPro. He's got to quit forgetting his pepper spray. He's hyper vigilant and he's guilty. It's very important for him to explain to his viewers that he loves dogs and he didn't want to spray the dog and but he had to. He feels guilty for protecting himself and he's hyper vigilant. These are two things that dog culture causes. Dog owners themselves are hyper vigilant, and society in general has to be hyper vigilant. For example, the way that they tell kids to act around dogs to constantly adjust their behavior. So let's look at our next example, the hiker lady. So our hiker lady is out having a nice hike. She's informed by another hiker that there's some dogs, and she's also told that the cops were called. So she's kind of hyper vigilant, but kind of not.
Perfect. The trail provides. More roadwalk. More roadwalk. Yeah. It's alright. Having fun. Seriously, things like this just make a hiker's day. So thank you.
So this seems pretty awesome.
I read on the Facebook page that right here is where some dogs, like 3 pit bulls, attacked somebody. So hopefully I'm okay, but
So here comes the hypervigilance that I was talking about. Even though it was reported, she's got to be worried. She's got to be full of stress, cortisol.
just gonna try to push through without them noticing me.
Well, they notice her and she finally has to spray him. She waits till the last second when the pit bull almost gets her. I fast forwarded through it a little bit. It's not really worth sharing all that. Of course, the owners didn't come out and do anything. The police that were called by the other hikers didn't do anything about this.
Hey guys, so I'm okay. No stressing out about the whole situation anymore. I'm just glad that I had a heads up um, from from the northbound hiker about the dogs. I thought they weren't going to be an issue because the northbound hiker that was attacked the 2 days before called the police, and I thought, well, it's taken care of. I should be able to walk down the road and be safe. Um, but nope, the dogs. I didn't want to spray them. I love dogs. Dogs are
There's
my
the
best
guilt.
friends. They're my best friend. I love dogs. I miss my dog. Oh.
So she's guilty for protecting herself. She misses her dog, and she equates that into allowing herself to be hurt. So it's the guilt, the hypervigilance. And she goes on almost to tears about how she's sad that she didn't, oh my God, I had to spray the dogs. I wasn't going to, but I was forced to. So it's guilt and hypervigilance. And when people watch these videos, if they have a little bit of guilt, they relate to these people. So this was pushed out into society too. Honestly, these people should not be, they shouldn't feel guilty, and they should have a better relationship with their guilt. When they talk to people in society, they should say, look, I do feel bad, but I shouldn't feel bad. And you shouldn't feel bad for protecting yourself either. This emotional stuff that these people are pushing out, part of it's disingenuous because they know they have to act this way. Otherwise, dog owners will crush them. Dog owners will belittle them. So, so they're going to act all guilty that they had to defend themselves. So part of this isn't even true. There's probably a part in this woman's head and in the biker's head that is really thinking, I hate these damn dogs. They've tried to bite me before, and I was very scared, and I had a terrible day. Later on, this lady talks about how she had to go get herself a motel room because she was just so stressed out from this dog attack. So the guilt that these people have to go through, this hypervigilance, is very bad for you. So what is this hypervigilance? It's when you're constantly on guard and prone to overreaction. It's more than just about being vigilant. You're looking for hidden dangers, real and presumed, because of this hypervigilance can leave you exhausted. That lady was very exhausted, not just from hiking, but from dealing with that stress. Hypervigilance can interfere with sleep. If you're in the military or other stressful job like a firefighter and you take a PTSD test, they will ask you questions about hypervigilance. Are you constantly worried about stuff? Are you worried about your fellow firefighters, your fellow military men? Because they know that hypervigilance can cause all kinds of problems. Post-traumatic stress disorder. So hypervigilance is what we're forcing people to constantly participate in dog culture. This is especially bad for little kids because we're constantly telling kids to act this way, act that way, avoid the dog like this, do this with the dog. So hypervigilance is bad for our mental health, and dog culture is the driver of it. And now, what about guilt? Here's some signs of people that have guilt: low self esteem, excessive attempts at reparation. You're carrying around all this weight, being unable to meet someone's gaze, trouble sleeping. There's that trouble sleeping again. Depressed mood, avoidance of people, places, or events. That's like that biker. He talks about how he tries to ride his bike extra fast to outrun those dogs. Shifts in energy levels. Even that biker was admitting on the ride that he was attacked, he just wanted to relax because he was tired of all the other rides. He just wanted to have a nice, low energy ride. Emotional outbursts. Yeah, the crying because you feel guilty for protecting yourself. So all this guilt that these people carry around, this false guilt to try to keep the dog culture people from overjudging them, these are all the terrible side effects that you're making them have. There's something called empathetic guilt. It's where you're feeling guilty because you think you harmed someone else. They also call it altruistic guilt. But that's kind of what these people are doing, but it's deceptive. They're feeling guilty because they perceive themselves as doing something bad to the dog. Like, oh, the poor doggy got sprayed in the face. They're misplacing the guilt, and it's weighing them down, causing all kinds of downstream health effects. Whatever the case may be, forcing people to be hypervigilant, forcing people to be guilty for the actions of the dog and the dog owner, in the end, it affects the quality of life of everybody, not just dog owners. So, those are two things that dog ownership, dog culture forces upon society that should not be forced on society. It makes people run around worrying about the problems that dog owners bring onto our society. Meanwhile, dog owners really don't do anything to help us.